Have you guys heard of the Stanad Sakamoto Taro? Used to be the stop cleaner working for the families, you see, but well, this Sakamoto stopped doing that years ago to run his own family business. Nowadays, he's got this convenience store he owns with his moglie, Aoi, and their bambina, Hana. The old cleaner's fat now, too. Must be the wife's gabagool. Now get this. One day, this Jamook Asakura Shin comes out of the Sakamoto store. You know, to whack the guy because he's trying to make his bones. But this Macha Fanuc ends up getting his ass kicked, you see. Plus, Sheen realizes Sakamoto's doing well for himself outside the cleaner business. So this Mook goes over to the Don, right? And he's like, I don't think I can do it, boss. I think we should just leave the guy alone. Now, the boss ain't having any of this, so he's like, how about we whack you goddamn spachine? But one of these wise guys knows that Sakamoto's been onto him the whole time. The family tries to bury Sheen with the fishes, but Sakamoto shaves his ass. Sheen now thinks she owes the fat man one, right? So he starts looking at Sakamoto's convenience store. See, Sakamoto's cleaning days are behind him since he promised his mall he ain't ever whacking anybody again. But the man's a pacifist now. But this ain't the last time he's going to run in to eat with the families. Because soon enough, Sakamoto and Sheen meet this bambina being hassled by some soldiers. Her name's Lu Xiao Deng, and it turns out she was supposed to be her own family's donor until her rival outfit took them out of business. See, whoever these wise guys are, they were looking for the Lu family key, thinking they could make bank from whatever's inside it. So Sakamoto offers to be the girl's bodyguard in exchange for her porchetta buns. This guy, huh? Anyway, it doesn't take long before a couple of random mooks try and take care of Lou, so Sakamoto deals with them too. They end up finding the family key, and guess what's inside? It's top-shelf ceremonial sake that her padre was supposed to share with her before the old man got popped. Long story short, Sakamoto expands his business and hires Lou back at the convenience store. Thing is, Sakamoto's sticking his nose where it don't belong now, see? So the JAA, the Japanese Assassins Association, puts a bounty of $1 billion on his head. Soon enough, one of Sakamoto's old pals from the house painting business, Nagumo, pays our guy a visit to tell Sakamoto everybody's now out to clip him. It doesn't take long before enterprising Jamooks try and claim Sakamoto's contract. There's Pizza Nakajima, I ain't kidding, that's his real name, who gets his pepperoni cut off when he makes an attempt on Sakamoto's life. Another outfit calling itself the Dondenkai tries to get some meat on the man too. But Sakamoto isn't falling for that shit. Now, Sheen might be an even bigger fucking stenad, but this kid's loyal to the bone. So when Sakamoto decides to take Aoi and Hana to a trip to the local amusement park, Sheen keeps a close eye on him in case any strunzo tries to act up. And act the fuck up they do, as more no-name cleaners like Nin Kuri and Tatsu attempt to get Sakamoto during his day off with the family. But Sheen knows how to take care of business. And with a little ayudo from Sakamoto, the kid shows he's ready to make his bones. They catch Tatsu and make him squeal. Tatsu flips and turns and tells Sakamoto all about the contract on his head. We also get a clue that Sakamoto used to belong to this outfit called the Order, a group of odd son-of-a-bitches who specialize in the cleanup business. On the other hand, Sakamoto decides to let Tatsu walk after making him sing, but the man's troubles are far from over. This time, a couple of pavarettes named Obiguro and Boyle try and give Sakamoto the Mo Green special. Now, Boyle has some mystery with our guy because we find out that Sakamoto's his co-high back at the JCC, the old learning institution for hitmen, but Sakamoto doesn't remember this mook, so Boyle's all like, hold on, you taught me how to make gunpowder. Oh! So Sakamoto goes, hold on a minute. Hey, it's little Boyle, how you been, And Boyle's all, I've been trying to kill you, can't you see that shit? And Sakamoto's like, get in line, paisano, say hi to your mother for me. In hell! Anyway, the man decides to get serious during the fight and magically loses all the weight he got from eating Aoi's raviolis. Sakamoto and Boyle get into it. Of course, the man beats the Shamook in the end. But while all this is happening, Lou's busy defending Aoi and Hana from Boyle's associate Obiguro. Obiguro ends up getting impressed with the Bambina's proprietary martial arts style. I don't know, maybe he wants you to be his Kamari or some shit. Point is, she calls off the hit and gets his culo out of there. Meanwhile, Boyle starts to realize he's in way over his head and decides to stop banning our guy. Oh, the button man even promises he'll lay off from trying to collect Sakamoto's bounty. Now, the secret's out of the bag, right? So I always give Sakamoto an earful when they get back home. But a guy still has to tie up a few loose ends, you know? So he takes his soldiers to the Dondenkai's outfit's office, only to find they've all been popped. There, Sakamoto and his crew also meet up with Nagumo. Being old friends, you know, the man gets Sakamoto up to speed that some mysterious button man they only know as X has been burning cleaners all over the country. What's more concerning, though, turns out this ex-f***er is the same putana that put a bounty on Sakamoto's head. Anyway, Sakamoto starts getting back on the proverbial saddle after this, you know, just to make sure none of them wise guys try and bag his family one of these days. A few days later, maybe it's the next one, who knows, but this Gujin named Eisuke tries to make his bones from Sakamoto's bounty. Now, Eisuke isn't such a bad guy, he's just a true blue pavarette. He needs the money is what the fuck I'm saying. So Eisuke heads over to the convenience store, but gets hoodwinked into thinking that Sakamoto's not even there. The kid ends up joining a pinball contest to make some money, but then finds out Sakamoto and Shin are also in the tournament. But keep in mind, Eisuke still has no idea who the fuck Sakamoto is at this point. Long and short of it is, Eisuke teams up with her heroes, since his pinball tournament is for team play. But then Lou gets so sloshed on the vino that she ends up squealing about who Sakamoto really is. Eisuke tries to put his big boy shoes on and clip Sakamoto, but it ultimately falls flat. Eisuke's no dummy, however. He eventually waves the white flag while Sakamoto lets him go scot-free. Too bad, though, because they do win the pinball tournament, but have to give up the prize money after wrecking the whole venue. Later, Shin and Lou get into trouble when a bunch of big-brain scientists working for this outfit called Okutabi kidnaps Lou, thinking that she's actually Shin. See, Shin's not your ordinary ex-cleaner. The boy's also psychic, and he was raised by the Okutabi group, and now they want their product back. So Sakamoto does what a good fratello does, and meets up with Shin to go and look for Lou. Their search leads him to the Okutabi Science Museum, which he reveals to his boss to be the same place where he grew up. Problem is, Shin knows that the Okutabi aren't one for a good old-fashioned menage. That's right, too, because they soon learned that a scumbag named Kashima had taken the reins of the Okutabi, forcing its scientists to do his dirty work. Whoa. Meanwhile, Lou finds herself captive inside the same facility. She meets Asakura, the original guy who used to be in charge of the Okutabi. Asakura tells the bambina he knows how they can escape. On the other hand, Sakamoto vows to free the Okutabi from Kashima's grasp after coming across another hitman named Mad Horiguchi. There's one problem, though. Because while all this is going down, a couple of high-ranking bagmen from the order named Oshiragi and Shishiba have just arrived at the Science Museum. Back at home, Eisuke learns what's going on with Sakamoto and the rest of the crew after he sees Aoi griping about it. So this boy proves he's ready to be a made guy by sending his trusty pet bird Pisuke to track down our guys. Meanwhile, Sakamoto and Shin have to continue dealing with this pest, Horiguchi, when the Strunzo gets back on his feet and attacks our boys again. On the other hand, Asakura tells Lou about Shin's origin story. Turns out Shin was handed to Asakura back when he was a baby, and the reason the boy got his powers was because he accidentally chugged on a special chemical that Asakura had been working on in the past. This led to the other Okutabi members shunning Shin like the plague, leading him to eventually becoming a soldier for one of the families. In the present, Sakamoto and Shin manage to finally clip Horiguchi. At the same time, the two order members who just arrived get their hands on Kashima to make him sing about X. The heat ramps up when Sakamoto gets in on the action, as he and Shin get split up. He finds himself confronting Kashima, while his two former order associates follow their leads on X. Like you should follow us on X, am I right? The good news is Eisuke manages to locate our guys and link up with Shin, but now they've got to deal with this new bagman who's after him, a hitman named Natsuke Seba. Still, these two Kujines prove that teamwork makes the dream work and eventually take down this pesky Testikacho. Meanwhile, Sakamoto's all like, all this from a slice of gabagool? And Kashima's like, what the are you talking about? Check this out, mouth gun! So Sakamoto's all, you disgusting piece of Sakamoto proves that you really don't have to love him, but you have to respect him, as he pops Kashima. But this Pecho de Mierda has one last trick up his sleeve, as we find out the guy's behind the self-destruct doodad. He activates the damn thing and the museum gets fucking wrecked. But the entire crew manages to escape the collapsing building, and Shin even shaves all the Okutabi scientists trapped inside. On top of that, Osaragi and Shishiba learn more about X, who also goes by another name, Schlur. On the other hand, Shin gets into a jam when he runs into X, or Schlur, or whatever the fuck you want to call this cavallo. Bambino doesn't get clipped, but Schlur tells him to say hi to Sakamoto for him in the most intimidating way possible. Anyway, everyone gets to safety in the end, and the crew goes back to the Sakamoto residency for dinner. Guess what's on the menu? Hint. It's cured pork and it rhymes with gabagool. Now, there's no geographical solution to an emotional problem, but there is one if it's physical. So, Sakamoto takes his entire family on an onsen trip to help them relax and recuperate. The kid who runs it, Yutaro, turns out to be an aspiring cleaner who sets his eyes on Sakamoto. He fails the Papa hero, and Sakamoto decides to let the boy walk, because, as I always say, we're soldiers. Soldiers don't go to hell. Anyway, on the other hand, a guy named Wu-Tang, who happens to be a capo for Lou's old outfit, comes out to try and convince the girl to be their family's new donor. But Lou's done with the waste management business, so Wu-Tang proposes to have a gambling match in an underground casino. If Wu-Tang wins, Lou takes over the family business. But if Sakamoto wins, Wuto has to squeal everything he knows about the bounty on his head. So Sakamoto and Wu-Tang get into it on the tables. They try and out-weasel each other, and Sakamoto proves he's just not as good at painting houses. He's also a master chiseler. He wins his bet with this loyal consigliere. But the Liu family itself doesn't honor the deal and attempts to kidnap Liu. Wu-Tang acts like a bona fide made man and teams up with Sakamoto to fend off these rats. And to make sure everything's copacetic between their two outfits, Wu-Tang elects to work at Sakamoto's convenience store too. Finally, Wu-Tang tells Sakamoto all the intel he knows about Schlur, that the Skulo recently hired a group of Shuncho serial murderers to deal with Sakamoto and everyone in the family. Namely, these mooks are Apart, Dump, Minimalist, and Shaw. And that's the first part of Sakamoto's Days first season, bakas. We hope you loved watching this video. Got any theories, thoughts, or maybe you have some recipes for gabagool? Drop a comment down below. Don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe with that notification bell turned on for more. It'll really help the family business. Why not check the next one while you're at it? I'm sure you're gonna love that one too. We'll see you soon, wise guys. Che Dio vi benedica!